Hey now, what's
Hey
going on,
now.
everybody? Hey now, hey now. Welcome to the latest edition of IoT Nuggets. I'm Doug Cohen from M10 Social. I am joined all the way on the other side of the screen by my illustrious co-host, Mr. Steve Brummer, BHIoT Group. And it just occurred to me we didn't even really give you a proper introduction on the last one, so
Oh, it's a bad golf clap, Doug.
it's bad. It's bad. Slacking. Well, I had to make sure you got your standing. I'm not going to stand up because I won't be in the screen. But we do have a special guest with us on this episode, Mr. Joe Barr from Sensata Technologies. Hello, Joe.
Hey, good afternoon. Glad to be with the both of you. I'm glad I got to participate in the golf clap for Steve. Well deserved, Steve. Well deserved.
Well deserved. And as you can see, Joe is the sales director for Sensata. He's on the floor at a trade show making things happen. And that's what we're trying to do here with IoT Nuggets, make things happen and bring the latest and greatest from all the movers and shakers in the Internet of Things space. And with that said, a little housekeeping as always, bhiotgroup.com is the website up there in the corner above Steve's head, which is the website you should go to connect with Steve and John Hubler and the rest of the team at BHIoT Group to talk about what your IoT strategy is and how to bring your deployment to market and all of those things. And having said that, speaking of bringing things to market and what's going on in the space, Sensata Technologies, Sensata.com is the website, and sensing is what they do. It says so right on the website. So let's talk about that a little bit. Steve, I'm passing it on to you, and you and Joe, take it away, Joe.
Right. You got it. Joe, thanks for your time, and it's great to see you again. So what show are you at, and tell us what the activity level is at the show, because all of us are trying to get back, face to face.
Yeah, absolutely, Steve. So good to see you as well. Thanks for the invite today. So I'm at the Utility Expo show in Louisville, Kentucky, a massive show. If you haven't seen it or participated, it truly is impressive. I'll tell you, arguably, floor attendance actually is up. So I'm excited to see that. We have participated as Sensata Technologies at a few other trade shows that didn't have quite the turnout for attendance. So I think slowly, as folks are becoming more and more comfortable getting through the COVID scenario, attendees are actually up and to the right. And so that's good news. I'm confident in 2022. Hopefully we'll get back to normal. But good floor energy so far here today, Steve.
Excellent. All right. So, Joe, give the audience a little idea about Sensata and the Xirgo relationship and where you are today, and give us a good overview of the company real quick.
Sure, fair enough. For those of you who don't know, Sensata Technologies is actually a spinoff from TI going back around 70 to 80 years. And really their focused area when they spun off was really around at the sensor level. So if you think about capturing information really on anything mechanical at the sensor level, we've got electrification, we have aero and space, we do a ton of work in the OEM vehicle space. So a lot of the cars, the fancy cars that you're driving, Steve, have sensors all the way around the vehicle, tire pressure monitor,
Right.
if you're about to back into something, battery. And so that's really been Sensata's core dominance. Again, 70 to 80% of the market share in the OEM space. Last year, in early 2022, Sensata acquired Xirgo Technologies. Xirgo, a leading IoT custom manufacturing company that provides a lot of the middleware and software to be successful, really was at the, I'll call it arguably the gateway level and above, right? Maybe a little deeper, Steve, but you understand what I'm saying. Video telematics, asset tracking. And so the combination of these two companies really focus both of our core strengths in going down market at the technology level, at the sensors, and aggregating that data real time through Xirgo's technologies so that you get near real-time data sensors. And that's what the two companies really are focused on doing into 2022. I know we're going to talk about that in just a minute, but it's exciting times here to see the additional resource, capital, engineering skills that will make this acquisition truly a success.
So the segue is, what's the product roadmap look like going down the road? Are you going to, be going into new markets? Are you looking at just new product offerings?
Yeah, I think as we reset after the acquisition, Steve, most folks should look for Sensata and Xirgo to focus on 6 key areas: asset monitoring and control, cargo monitoring, tire pressure monitoring systems, I mentioned just a second ago, data insights, right? None of this technology really does anybody any good if you can't extract the data to sense, analyze, and respond. So you'll see a more prolific approach relative to our data insights, vehicle telematics, and video telematics. So that'll be the 6 core areas that you will continue to see Sensata Zergo develop, Steve, without going into byproduct downloads, which I'll spare you and your viewers from doing right now. I would encourage everybody to check out Sensata.com, and that's really where you can find more specific product information that'll meet anyone's true IoT needs.
And so what are you seeing, Joe, as some of the biggest challenges right now in your space?
Well, I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about, and I've heard you mention it on other VH IoT Nugget sessions, supply chain's a big deal, right? I mean, there's no sense running away from it. I think we should see some recovery in that in the latter half of 2022. So putting that aside, what I still think most customers are hesitant into entering into the IoT space is how expensive is it? And I think when we see market scale economies, notwithstanding the supply chain challenge right now, Steve, the cost of really getting a deployable IoT solution that is effective for the customer needs is dropping. And there's more flexible pricing options now. So if you remove the barrier of entry into deploying a robust IoT solution for most folks, they're excited about the possibility of improving their own operations and increasing their revenue. And I think that perception is really the biggest barrier, and we're working hard to knock that down to the ground.
It's an education challenge also, just trying to get everybody to understand what the hell you're selling and why you need your products and what's the application that's going to make the most sense and the most cost-effective ROI for them.
Couldn't agree more, Stephen. I do try and tell folks, I'm like, you don't have to eat the whole apple in one, foul swoop. You can deploy, based on those 6 areas, a solution to do vehicle telematics. And as you realize the benefit, you get your return on investment stabilized, you can start adding to the stack, which is something that Zergo and Sensata can do quite well together in kind of those key 6 areas. So I'm encouraged to get folks in a one deal that meets their requirements and then build from there.
So Joe, as we finish up here, tell us about your role and responsibilities there at the company and how people can get a hold of you and how you can help them.
Let me tell you, I've got some of the most exciting times in front of me here at Sensata. They've actually empowered me to go grow and build a sales team. That's something that motivates me. I'm excited about that, working with different industry experts across trucking, asset monitoring. So in short, I'm a sales director. I'm responsible for delivering a revenue number back to the firm. I'm assembling a team to do that, and I couldn't be more excited to be really on the front end of this growth pattern with Sensata and Zergo. I can't thank you enough for the time, Steve and Doug. It's always great to talk to you, gents. Stay out of trouble, or I guess get into trouble, whatever works best for all of you. But I can't.
Yeah, you're talking. The 3. You're talking to the wrong 3 guys to have that conversation about.
I know, absolutely. One last tagline is easiest way for folks to get a hold of me. Joe Barr, the number 2 at Sensata.com. I'd love to handle any inquiries and see how we can help.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Joe. Appreciate it. Always like having you around and on the Nuggets. It's awesome. Doug, back to you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Steve, and thank you, Joe. And Joe, I usually try to stay out of trouble. Steve drags me back into it every time.
I believe that to be true, gentlemen. I believe that to be true.
Great. One admits
Stay well, be well.
Yeah, thanks.
I will say this, when you talked about Sensata and the sensors around the vehicles, I thought of, I drive a Ford Escape, and the very first time someone slammed on their brakes in front of me, I got this big flashing alert, and that was the first time I'd ever had that happen as a driver in any car, and that made me think of that when you were just talking about vehicle telematics and the sensory technology that you're using. So very cool stuff. Once again, thanks for joining us, and for everybody who's out there watching this IoT Nugget, make sure you connect with us also on LinkedIn as well as YouTube, where all the rest of the nuggets are. And if you own a company or you are a subject matter expert in the IoT space, let us know so we can get you on as a guest on the show. And that's all I got. So thanks, Joe. And thanks, everybody, for watching.
All right.
Be well. Take care.
You got it. Have a great day, everybody.